Hey everyone, Daniel Whitlow here. So today I wanted to do a video talking about how the PTO assembly works on, say, a 3010 or a 4010. So in addition to talking about how it works, we'll talk about common issues that people have with it, why this design overall gets a pretty bad rap, and it was one of the major reasons for the changes going into the 20 series, like 3020, 4020, out of the 10 series. So with that, getting tired of holding this, it's heavy. Let's talk about the other end, the back end of the shaft first, to make everything else more clear. Okay, so this is looking at the back of the PTO shaft. This will sit within a seal here. And then this is your bearing that the shaft spins about in the rear end. And throughout this shaft, or through most of it, there's a rod in here, okay? And this rod has an O-ring inside and it's held in via a snap ring here. But this rod here is what is going to dictate whether you are set up for 540 or 1000. How is that? And again, this will all be, everything will come together here in a minute. But you have, of course, two different PTO stubs. For the 10 series, these stubs bolted on. So, you've got your 4-threaded holes here. Now, this is a 540 stub, and you'll see that there's a penny here, but imagine if the penny wasn't here. It's basically flush or extends out just a little bit, so that when you put this shaft in, that is going to press this pin into the 540. And I'll show you everything that's going on at the front of the shaft in a minute, but this is just the basics of what is going on in a minute, or for now, okay? When you had a 1000 shaft, it actually had a hole in it, okay? So that this pin actually stayed extended out and maintained you in the 1000 speed, okay? And there's a penny here, and sometimes you'll see another coin or something welded in, and we will talk about why that is here in a few minutes. And that is to gain additional length here, additional basically pushing distance of this rod. Again, we'll cover that in a minute. But now that you hopefully understand, I don't have 1000 PTO with me here, but the 1000 would just have the hole to prevent from pushing that rod in. All right, now let's go to the front of the shaft and see how this is changing the speed. Okay, so you're gonna have to excuse me here since I don't have a front bearing or anything to support this on, or bushing. This is gonna want to roll back and forth. Okay, so right now I have, say, no stub on the back, right? So there's no stub to push that bar in. I am set up for 1000. All right, and above this, on the front of the kind of rear end housing, is this gear here. And this gear is spun by your, I believe it's the counter shaft. All right, so this is spinning at some velocity, right? And if I want a faster speed, then I want to have this gear spinning. This gear engaged to the PTO shaft and spinning this gear. If I want a slower gear, then for whatever RPM this is spinning, I want a bigger gear here. I want a gear down. I want this gear. So if you look right now, again with no stub on, as I said, it's kind of like the hole in the 1000 shaft. Right now, this collar here is connected to this gear. All right, I'll just show you this pulls on and off, and we'll talk about how that works in a minute. For right now, this is engaged to this gear. So this gear here is going to rotate the whole shaft, and the 540 gear free rolls, okay? Now, let's say I go and I put that 540 stub on, and it doesn't have the hole, so it's pushing on the rod, right? I'm going to extend back here and I'm going to push on this rod, and you'll see what happens is it's moving this collar here to engage the 540, and it disengages this collar here from the 1000. Now the spring is fairly strong, so I wasn't pushing it enough, so I'll manipulate it here a little bit. But I mentioned that the rod in the shaft goes all the way to here, and in this collar is this pin here, and we'll talk about this pin more in a moment. But it's pushing that pin to engage this collar here. Actually, I need to rotate a little bit. Okay, and then there's a set of springs in between here that is also pushing this collar back via this pin in this collar, right? And so right now I'm set up to where the 540 is engaged because this collar is engaged to the shaft and this collar is engaged to this gear. So now I'm set up for 540 and my 1000 shaft. And yes, you will see there are broken gear teeth on this. My 1000 speed will spin freely. If you go to take that shaft off, the stub off, when you take it off, it'll naturally want to come back to the 1000. All right, so what is so problematic about this setup? Well, a couple things can go wrong. First off, you'll see kind of like I had it a minute ago, if I go to engage this, and this isn't perfectly lined up, it doesn't want to mesh, right? And what people do is when they go and put the stub on, they don't push on that rod fully to make sure that it is able to go in all the way. You can feel it. Like I said, it's really hard, but it can go in all the way. What happens is they just put the stub on, and this isn't lined up. And so the gear is kind of holding this back a little bit. And people use the bolts on that stub to push it in. Well, what they end up doing is they push on this little pin inside the shaft here, and I'll show you, there's not much to that pin. And what they end up doing is they bend it. And when you bend it, well then, whenever you do want to actually engage your teeth, you need more stroke, right? So people end up putting pennies on it, on the stub, to get this to push on further, okay? The other problem is if the PTO stub is held on by those 4 bolts, if those bolts come loose and all of a sudden this starts working its way off, you could get in a scenario where you know, you're becoming disengaged here or engaged here, and what happens is these pins will break. And sadly, these pins, they don't cost very much in the grand scheme of things. I hear old farmers talk about they used to be less than $1 back in the day. But in order to fix this pin, you got to split the tractor. And so it gets a bad rap because, again, it's just one little piece that once it breaks, you got to split the tractor and so on. And it's susceptible to operator fault because if you go to put that shaft on and it's not engaged just right, you're either going to bend or break that pin. But then also, you know, the pins can just break and what have you. So that is why we'll talk about a 20 series here in a minute. I'll look at my 4020 here and show you guys a little bit of a difference, but it's more straightforward and common, similar to, I believe, what they use today. But that is a 40-10, 30-10 setup. Now, what I plan to do with this tractor, and I've heard of others doing, is locking this in 540. The owner of this tractor never uses the 1000. Granted, I mean, some people use it. I feel like it's certainly more uncommon for these tractors. So what I plan to do is actually lock this in the 540 by putting a bolt through the back of here and putting in washers in here to hold this in the 540 position to lock that out. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I've heard about it. Everyone talks about the 3010, 4010 series. But this is the critical aspect though of why when you put your stub in and you put those bolts in, put in Loctite or whatever you got to put in. You don't want those bolts coming loose. And when you go to put your stub on, you have to be sure that that pin is able to go all the way in and that you are properly engaged. Because you don't want to have to take the whole tractor apart just to get to these pins. All right, now to show you the difference in a 20 series, we're going to look at the back of my 4020 high crop here. I just so happen to have it apart. And the fact that I still have it apart may hopefully make it easier for you guys to see and understand. So when we talked about the 10 series, both the 540 and the 1000 gear change was up front, right? So the 20 series eliminated that, so the speed change was back here. And essentially, nothing is moving inside the tractor either. All right, so I'll give you a closer look inside and then I'll kind of explain it here. So what I want you to focus on for the moment is this gear here. This is attached to the shaft that is going to the front of the tractor. And notice the splines in there, okay? Then up here, we've got another gear set here. These two gears are one piece. They spin on this shaft here. All right, and with that, I'll explain how this works. So unlike the 10 series where it's just a flange that bolts on the 20 series, you have two different shafts. You've got a 1000 shaft and you've got a 540, okay? So the 1000, you can see the splines on the very end of this shaft. They mate with the inside, if I can get it to go in here, match up. They mate with the inside of that gear here that we were talking about. All right, I can't seem to get it at this moment. Okay, so when you have this shaft in, it is spinning directly off that shaft at 1000 RPM. Okay, now what's not in here right now is this gear here. So when all of this gets assembled in the back here, this gear goes right in here and mates up with the other gear right there, okay? And so when you have your 540 shaft, well now, this technically isn't the right shaft for this tractor. I can't figure out what tractor it goes to, but anyways, it'll work for purposes here. The splines on this fit with that gear. So actually, the shaft coming from the front of the tractor spins this shaft, and then because of the change in diameters of gears here, it'll spin this one at a slower rate. Hence, this is how you have a 540 then. And so like I said, in the 20 series, nothing is moving inside the tractor. This all stays the same, doesn't move. All you're doing with your different shafts is engaging different gear teeth. Then, of course, the 1000 will just slide through this and not interface with any of that. So, much simpler setup. Nothing can really go wrong with this. Again, no moving parts or anything like that. So, way better design, and again, one of the major changes going from the 10 series to the 20 series. Well, there you have it for a How It Works video. Let me know if you enjoy these How It Works videos. I can always do more. Also, feel free to drop a comment on what topics I could maybe do How It Works if you guys are curious on something. So, yeah, just remember, give me a like, subscribe. You guys can email me anytime at danielfarmchannel@gmail.com. And we'll keep working on this 4010 here. I'll have some more videos coming on it. And yeah, go from there. So y'all have a good day. Thanks for joining.